Okay.
And more for me. Okay. That's how you control it. Okay.
Did you get a chance? Did it go through or no? It didn't go through for you.
I was trying to unmute myself. Do you have it?
No, I don't.
I have, let me put it in the chat. I don't want to take up. You sent me the email. I sent it to that same email.
Let me. Sometimes because you're sending it from the police department's system, it does take more time for transmission. I'm gonna give you one more to send it to as well, because this one should bypass
Is that correct?
firewalls.
I put it in the chat. Is that correct?
Let's see. Yes, you did. You did it absolutely positively correct. And
I'll try to send it
here's
again.
the other one. Here's the other one. Here it is.
It's not much. I just
this one can
oh,
this one can bypass. You can bypass firewalls.
okay.
Okay, there you go.
Send it there instead. Is that what you're saying?
You can send it there also, because I'm trying to see which one will come first. That one should be quicker
Okay.
because it can bypass firewalls.
Okay. Is there going to be any youth group on here? I was told.
Church members from our church. Yeah, so we gotta let them in.
Yeah, it's kind of like a kid-friendly thing because I didn't. They said I was speaking to some children, so
It's teenagers and adults
okay.
and youth leaders. Mhm. We let these individuals in. Good evening, everyone. Please give us 1 minute. The officer, our guest speaker, is sending me her presentation. Okay, so it did come through the one without firewalls, but there it is. Okay, so it's the one without firewalls, just like I said. Yay!
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've never done a PowerPoint, so
Great, great.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
She was talking about
Can you mute your phone, Dr. Hall? It says Dr. Hall. Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Yay. We're so excited tonight. Nurse Rosa found us a presenter for teen violence prevention. So let's do a quick prayer. God, we just thank you so much. We love you. We adore you. We thank you for our speaker, Officer Newman, that took time out of her schedule to educate the community on teen violence prevention. We pray for all police officers, God. We pray that you keep them safe and protect them as they bring about your justice in our land. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Nurse Rosa, you're introducing.
Yes, with an honor. Police Officer Sheena Newman
has been a member of the Baltimore Police Department since December 2003 and currently serves as the Hate Crimes Senior Liaison. Prior to this, Officer Newman was assigned to patrol in the northeastern and northern districts. She also earned a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice from Coppin State University. Mount Zion and friends, let's welcome Police Officer Newman as she shares teen violence prevention information with us tonight.
Let's give her a hand. Thank you. That's
Amen.
Man.
Amen. Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that. Trying to unmute myself.
there you are. You
Okay.
have
Baltimore City.
Actually having some technical difficulty. I'm trying to put this on my big screen. One moment. Okay. Well, that's okay. Mhm. All right, so my name is Newman. Like I said, I've been an officer for about 20 years. I do have some experience with young people. I'm actually we did the bridge program about right before COVID. So I was in contact with a youth program called Bridge. It is not on this slide, but I like to mention it because that's a lot of my experience dealing with young people in Baltimore. Actually started in that program. I'm a native, born and raised. Grew up in West Baltimore near Coppin State. And please forgive my voice. I lost my voice. I had like a little upper respiratory cold. So I usually don't sound like this. So I'm trying to project as much as I can. So I grew up in West Baltimore, right off of the North Avenue and Baker Street area. And a lot of my interest started with criminal justice because in high school, we had officers that came out and talked to us about, careers. And they actually started Baltimore Police Department actually had an academy at Walbrook High School, similar to like a JROTC program, but it was taught by police. So that's kind of what sparked my interest. So I actually stair-stepped. So I started in high school with my love for law enforcement, just wanting to get involved, wanting to be a part of an organization, and wanting to get involved as a young child, from, high school age was like 14 to like 17, wanting to get involved and see what I could do to improve my community, and policing was it for me. I am in a community unit. I'm not in patrol, but I am, I'm very humble. I can always go back to patrol, but I just want everybody to understand that I actually work in a unit, and it's called a community policing unit. We've had many names. That's the current name. And I've been a part of that community unit for approximately maybe about 7 to 8 years. And we're trying to, build community relations. And the only way you can do that is through getting together, public trust, and getting people to know you. So even though you just see me presenting, I do work with a strong outreach, usually in the districts. We have 9 districts in the city. So from the central to the southeast, etc. I'm not going to name all of them. That's something that we can all kind of look up at baltimorepolice.org. It has each district, but we go by the pretty much like the regions. We do the directional regions, so southeast, northeast. That's kind of how we do it. Other agencies may use like precinct numbers, like number 9 or number 1, but that's not how we do it. We do correlate both numbers. So we have like number 1 for central, 4 would be the northeast, etc. So we do use both systems. A lot of times we try to have a unit because patrol is usually busy. And that's not the answer that the public wants. So we have the neighborhood coordination officers. So, and I, in the sake of time, I know I'm speaking kind of fast, but at the end, I will save time for questions. So if there's anything that I'm saying or any abbreviations, or if you need clarification, I will repeat it. But just for the sake of time, I'm gonna move through the presentation. So we work to support patrol, even though I'm not in patrol. We do support the neighborhood coordination officers. They're called NCOs, and they work in each district. We have 9 districts, like I said, that police and service the community. So a lot of times they may have a big problem as minor as it could be a bunch of car thefts. And I know that we're talking about youth prevention, so I know there's other people on the audience, but a lot of my presentation is geared towards young people because that's the email that I would receive. So a lot of times we'll work with them if they have issues as far as crime, might be car thefts, maybe robberies in one area. Some areas may not have any serious or heinous acts. They may have minor things like they want a community cleanup. They may want us to participate in cleaning up their neighborhood or beautifying the area. So that's something that my unit takes pride in because, like I said, patrol is usually going from call to call, and they may not have time to do those type of things that are very intricate, meaningful, and it takes time to make an area from one thing to another. And it's not just beautification. Sometimes it might be public nuisance house. They might have a house in their area that's everybody's running in and out. Maybe some drug dealing, maybe some prostitution. And I know we're on the church line, so I'm trying to, stay as far as my jargon and my language, I'm trying to keep it professional and also keep, the presence of the Lord, in the realm. So I'm trying to, but I'm also a police. So this bear with me. I'm trying to speak in a way that's, professional to everyone and respectable. So you may have a situation where a house could be a hazard to that community, bringing that community down. Might be only 1 or 2 houses in that block. That seems to be the nuisance house, okay? So those are the things that our unit in collaboration with the neighborhood coordination officers, they're ran by a sergeant, and usually that sergeant may have 1 or 2 other officers under them that work on those type of social ills or problematic things that patrol is usually the 911 people that are assigned to answer 911 calls. They may not be able to get those root causes, and that's what our unit strives to do, okay? So number 2, like I said, reduce the crime and disorder through collaborative problem-solving partnerships. I've explained that. That's how we do it. We also work alongside other entities as far as intra-agency. You may have a drug unit, or we may work with other partners like FBI partners, ROCA for youth violence. We may work with the city facilities that we have as far as we don't have power centers, but we still have some city rec centers. So those are the partnerships that we work with, as well as being open to professional partnerships as well, and as well as church. So slide 3. Today, like I said, we're going to discuss a little bit of crime. This PowerPoint was briefly put together by me, so it's my first one. So any while you're going through the PowerPoint, like I said, if you see any improvements, I'm gonna send my email in the chat and you can help me, or we can go from there. So we're gonna discuss crime, what is a misdemeanor versus a felony. Because we have the youth on here, I kind of did like the ABCs. So it's more geared towards the young people. Some adults on here may know the difference, but I'm going to talk about that. We're going to discuss some risk factors that lead to juvenile delinquency. Meaning like a juvenile is involved or their behavior is involved in crime, what leads to that. And we're going to do a brief discussion about victimology, who's victims and why people become victims. And we're going to look at a little brief capture of data. And then we're going to discuss likely offenders, like what leads to those. Why do people commit crime? Why do they start as early as 7 or 8? What's going on? Okay. And then we're going to discuss some safety. And then I'm going to wrap it up with talking about some of the services. So the next slide was about crime victims. And I was asked, I believe it's Dr. Hillard and Rosa Bragan. I was asked about some data that captures victims pertaining to our young people. So this age group in parentheses is 9 to 24. I'm not going to go through the whole chart. I'm going to kind of leave it up. Can everybody see that chart?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, this chart is kind of from our analysts. It's not from me. I don't have access to the data. Our data is we have professional and sworn members that deal with the data. So that's not my expertise. So I'm just going to briefly go through it. Okay. I don't add to the data. I'm not in control of what's up here that we see. And we know that data, keep in mind, not just data with us, data can change because sometimes people don't report data. So you may see low numbers like, okay, well, why is the homicides only showing 2, for 2024 in line 1? Some data may have not been put in. So don't hold us to it. Okay. They're still counting those numbers. So back in 2022, if we just look at the rate of homicide, 76% was in 2022, 2023, 74, and 2023 was 11, and then 2 for the year to date right now. Shootings, we have a big decrease in homicides and shootings pertaining to that age group, 9 to 24. We're talking about the young people. This data is only for them, okay? Shootings are down. So we have 14% year to date, as compared to 2022 when you had 245. I'm not going to do everything because that would take up too much time, but we're going to look at like assaults. Look at the assaults. I think that's the third from the last common assault. It was over 2,311 assaults back in 2022. And then our year to date for 2024 is at 215. Property crimes have a big decrease as well. Just looking at 2023, we had over 2,000 property crimes, and that could be something like burglaries, robberies. It could be as like a theft, purse snatchings, things like that. Even destruction of properties. Some of these terms you may want clarification, so just take notes. Destruction of property could be like somebody breaking your car window or breaking a window on your house or whatever, or something like you had an altercation and those young people might have broke a cell phone with each other, because we know young people love the cell phones. Okay. The next slide is arrests from ages 9 to 24. Murders back in, I'm not sure if you can see that because it's two kind of charts because they had a lot of data, so we put it on 2. But looking at chart 1, murders was at 44 and now year to date at 5. Weapon violations, handgun violations, I'm gonna put our attention to I think it's line 3. It says HGV, handgun violations. 2022, 783, 2023, 727, and then year to date, 76. So that's a good thing going down. And then let's look at the next chart. Let's see. Once again, those assaults, if we look down at second-degree assault, that's assaults that are not as deadly or serious, still in 60%. And then the other ones are kind of low, so I'm not going to read them off. We can do the next slide. Put this over here. Some constructive outlets that I kind of came up with that some young people, and some of the agencies are not on here, so I'm not trying to leave anybody out. And some of the programs that are out there for young people, I may not know because I'm still law enforcement, and that's the barriers that we want to kind of break down so that way we will know where to refer our young people. So some of the programs that I am aware of and I have participated on was the Yo Baltimore, that is over in West Baltimore. I think that's off of like Lafayette Street and Riggs. No Boundaries Correlation. And then we have a group called the Baltimore Explorers. And that's pretty much that we pretty much teach that in a curriculum kind of setting in the school. We did have 2 programs. One with the Baltimore Explorers was with Lake Clifton. I know that when COVID happened, schools kind of got shut down. So we're trying to get back into that. That program is not up and running. And then we're at the Explore program is up and running at Patterson. Patterson is off of Kane Street, off of Eastern Avenue. So that's in the southeast. But the Explorers program, even though we only have the curriculum, like where they learn 9th through 12th grade, they basically get exposure to police because we come in and teach the class. Officer Cromer is one of our big advocates right now, and he's looking to expand and bounce. Like we want to get into other schools throughout the city. We don't just want to service one community. So those are the things that we're trying to get back into. Also with the Explorers, some people can't always participate through their school because maybe we're not in that school, but we do have a branch system. So they would talk to myself or any police officer. They're all aware of the Explorers program. So if anybody that's on here or any young people that you know are interested, they can just simply contact me. I'll connect them to Officer Cromer. Or if you see an officer in your community, they should know and can get you that information. Also constructive outlets for young people to get involved in mentor opportunities, whether it be at church, whether it be in your neighborhood. For me, like I told you a little bit about me when I first started speaking, I started my mentorship just being in the criminal justice program at Walbrook High School as a student. I was originally in like, I think it was like more like a business outlet. I didn't see that fit in my personality. And I changed, went and saw my counselor and I changed into the criminal justice academy. And like I said, now I'm a police officer. So finding opportunities, finding what's creative, what goes with your personality and taking on those roles. Those help, they're constructive outlets instead of getting engaged in, bad behavior or risky people or bad friendships, okay? Taking on leadership roles, even if you don't want to do a full program at a school or outside of school, you still could take on leadership roles outside at, like I said, at a professional organization, mentor programs, even the programs that I listed or programs that you may know, and you want to seek guidance from your parents. And if you don't have parents, because some people don't, you want to seek guidance from your guardian, your legal guardian, or some type of adult to help you make sure that you're making the right decision. Because when I say mentor opportunity, you don't want to just take on a street mentor, because there's street mentors too. And you don't want people that's doing, gang related stuff or hanging out or hanging on the corners. You don't want to seek those type of leadership roles. So you always want to get good guidance and leadership. So participating in after school programs, that's a given. Like I said, this presentation was geared towards the youth. A lot of times people don't want to do, maybe they're taking on a leadership role, it's something they don't want to do. So you find programs that are in your school. A lot of times your counselor, you can talk to them and see what they have for you. Also, sometimes you can participate if you don't like sports, because not everybody plays basketball, football, tennis. You can also become like the equipment person, for your school or program or a camp, even when school is not in, because school is not always in. So even when schools shut down for the summer or breaks, you can participate at rec centers or social, positive social groups and take, find your way and find a path and find things that you can do to stay busy. Because the more you're busy, when you have idle time, things happen. So you want to keep your schedule strategic, not overwhelming where you're like stressed out and have too many things on your plate, but you still want to just stay involved. Because when you're staying involved, somebody's going to invite you. Hey, today we're doing this. You might be a member of the church and the church might be going to King's Dominion. So when you're around good things happen. Okay. The next one is apprenticeship. We already touched on sports programs. Become a part of your youth advisory council. Whether that council could be for the police department, we're ramping up the youth advisory council program. We had that up and running. And like I said, with COVID, a lot of things were affected. So we are bringing that advisory where young people can get involved with the police department and have a say on like rights, freedom of speech, things like that. So you can join our agency, and I will leave my information so that way if you're interested in the youth advisory council, you know how to, get to that. Okay. Next slide. Okay. Something is missing. So
They're
I
blank.
did say I was going to touch on misdemeanor. I'm not sure if those slides went over. So give me 1 second, because do I have about 5 more minutes?
Mhm.
Yeah,
You
something
sure
is
do?
missing off of that.
No,
Give
that's
me 1
it
second.
for the slide say blank.
Yeah, because I was going to go over the definitions of a misdemeanor, but I want to hold up the time. Those slides might have gotten lost because they were supposed to have been up there. But a
They're in the
misdemeanor is anything that is a crime under 1 year or less. Is usually crime is bad, so I'm not trying to like minimize it, but it's your lesser offenses. It might be something as small as like I said, breaking out a window, or another example could be maybe you had a situation with someone at school and you took something out of their backpack. That could be a misdemeanor crime, a larceny. And a felony crime are the things that are serious, very serious, usually causes extreme harm to someone. And it's usually 1 year if arrested. You can be faced with 1 year or more. Sometimes felony crimes are as serious as we call it like a Mr. and Mrs. Lamb, murder, robbery, assault kind of crimes. Okay, so it could be something as heinous as having a handgun, even though a handgun is a misdemeanor. But if you use it to brandish it, even if it's not, if it's a toy gun, because kids have air guns, pellet guns, we don't want you to bring those type of guns in school. So I like to touch on just leaving weapons, whether it's mace, whether it's a knife or a baton, maybe your uncle or cousin or whoever gave it to you, you think it's cool, always discuss it with your adult guardian, your parent, to see, hey, is this suitable to leave at home? Don't take it upon yourself to let your 13-year-old cousin and you're 15 and y'all talking, oh, I'm gonna take this to school. Don't do it. Okay, I'm 41. I'm not that old. I remember when I was young and I was, with my friends and family members, and we would find little stuff. If you find a gun in the house, you should let an adult know. Hey, dad had a gun on the shelf. Don't ever touch a gun, because you always want to treat guns like they're loaded, like they can hurt somebody. Okay, and like I said, when in doubt, get supervision. Okay, and like I said, some of the victims' slides were not in there. So what one thing about victimology, anybody can be a victim, because I'm not sure why that slide wasn't up there. I do apologize. So anybody can be a victim. So it's not about being black, white, or female, male, and you got so many other different groups of people. And like I said, because we're in a church environment, I'm trying to keep it respectable. So somebody that's a victim could be as young as 3, or even infant. Infant could be a victim, and they could be as old as 120. So a victim could be anybody. So when you're growing up and going throughout life, one thing that we can reduce victim is, like I said, being in good groups, being involved with your family, whatever that may look like. Me, myself, my mom was a single mother. It was me and my brother. So I had a key. I was a latchkey kid. I don't even know if you know some of the young people that's on here. I had to let myself in. And my brother, was my older sibling. He would beat me home, and me and him would basically cook dinner. We would do our chores. We would do our homework. We would run the house before mom and dad, would get home. So those are the things that, when you're thinking about victim, am I out here? If mom and dad say, hey, you got the keys to the house, would you bring your friend in the door with you? If they already told you no company in the house. So those are the things you need to think about. Because when you don't listen and follow the rules of the house, or follow the rules at school, or whoever at your church, when you don't follow those rules, you make yourself a victim. You open up yourself for problems, and also you can make yourself hanging out with the wrong crowd. You can become a offender or a suspect quickly, or a defendant, whatever word you want to use. If you're out and your friends are going to the store and somebody has a fake gun, like I said, and they say, oh, I think it's funny. Let's act like we're gonna take this gun and we don't have no money today, and we're going to brandish it, pull it out. That's what brandish mean, and scare somebody. You just was joking, but now if somebody, reports you, now you become a suspect. So keeping in mind that decision-making should just always be at your front lobe. You should always think about life plans. What do you want to be when you grow up? Keep in perspective, the rules of your house, your ethics, your values, your core system, your religion. All those things should be little bubbles above your head, little light bulbs. Thinking cap. They used to say, put my thinking cap on back in the day. I know that's kind of old school. Now it's TikTok. Now we're parenting and policing versus the internet and social media. those things can be good and those things can be bad. You know, so it's like minimizing your involvement. If you're on TikTok, if you're on social media, what are you eating? Like food, what are you feeding your soul? What are you feeding your mind? Keeping in constraints, all those things can, you know, can help make or break your character. So those are the things that you want to think about when you're on social media. If you come across some bad content, I want to touch on that. If you come across something that's obscene or that's inappropriate to your age group, you know, and you really don't know, some people don't know what to do. Don't share it. Don't share that video. Don't like it. Don't hit the thumbs up. Don't hide it. Like, hey, mom and dad or whoever, or if you're living with grandma or auntie, because everybody's family looks different. Let them know, hey, I came across this video. I'm just trying to be respectful and I don't like that type of stuff. And they can figure out what they can do to stop those videos. Because on your phone, there's dots that you can press, a setting, and you can block all those bad things, or if they're cursing or whatever, you can, there's ways to mitigate that. And if you're not familiar, an adult can help you. So other than that, I'm gonna wrap up with the safety tips, because we do have other people on here. And I would like to touch on some safety tips for us. Period. As police officers, one thing we can say is no, pretty much know where you're going. So when you're heading out, always have a route, plan for that day. If it's a trip to the market, for example, you know, find out how you're getting there. Know how you're getting there. If you're driving, foot, bus, know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, map it out on your phone. Some people are seniors, and I'm not picking on them. Some of them are better at technology because I'm not good at it. This is my first PowerPoint. Clearly, I missed some of my slides. I do apologize. But some of the technology you can use is your phone. You don't have to sit around and say, go outside and ask somebody, how do I get to, you know, Safeway? Okay, you can actually ask your phone, hey, and you can talk to your phone too. Some people have the talk feature for Safeway. So mapping out how to get there. I'm just using that as an example, okay? Because when you ask somebody else, something can happen to you. You could become a victim. You could become a target, okay? So if you out there and you're walking down the street and you don't know where you're going, people can see that. Like, this lady don't know where she's going. You looking around, you know, clearly somebody's going to what? Try to come up and ask you questions. You might not want that type of activity. You might not want that involvement, and you might not want that interaction. So plan out your route. Know where you're going. Know the time. Let somebody know. Even when we're talking about children to adults, let somebody know where you're going. Hey, I'm going to be going to the market. I should be back by such and such time. They should have a contact information for you. So if they don't, you know, if you're not back by a certain time, somebody should be checking on you. Some people live alone, and it's not perfect. I live alone. Actually, as a police, I actually live alone. But for the sake of time, even if I live alone, I can still write a little note. I know it sounds corny, but I can still write a little note going to the supermarket or going to Safeway. So if somebody do need to find me, they kind of can have a pinpoint. Okay. So, you know, those are little things, little sticky pad on the refrigerator. Going out here, reach me here. Okay. Safety can be even moving away from that, because you got the point on your refrigerator or in a important, like on your room, putting your information. If emergency happens, contact this person. Even if you don't want to put your you know, don't put your date of birth or name and everything, this contact information, and give your personal contact information to a trusting person. And you can display that either on your refrigerator and your book. That helps emergency people. If we come in, we can find out if something's going on, who we need to call, okay, on your behalf. Some people carry contact information in their wallet. We do have those, some type of programs that we have. We have those little wallets that you can get from the police department. And it has like a medical emergency card. I carry them, and I'm gonna put my info in. If you need one of those, I will get that to you, okay? But it has something like your name, basic information. Never put your social on anything. Social Security, never give it out. Even for the young people, never give your Social Security out, okay? And it has like your medical history, things like that, and your address, okay? That's something you can carry in your wallet. Some people don't carry wallets. So if you don't carry a wallet, you can simply take a what? Picture, because we're in the age of media. Phone, take a picture of it and save it on your phone. So if something happened, somebody can get to it, okay? Another safety tip when it comes to guarding your vehicle, if some people drive and some people don't. If you have a vehicle, a lot of vehicle thefts are up. The Kia and the Hyundai was really, really prevalent. Once again, linked to social media, young people was looking on there, basically getting ideas. Basically, I think TikTok was a lead on that as well. And they were finding out, I'm not going to explain because, they were basically using like a USB cord to start the car. Okay, because some people don't know what they were doing. So, like I said, this is not, the disclaimer is not to, we're trying to educate, not to duplicate or not to mimic, but, avoid those type of behaviors. So the point is, they were looking at those type of videos, learning how to steal cars, and it caused a big uproar all over, not just in Maryland, but all over. Okay, so we do give out those anti-theft bars. They're like the old school lock bars, like a club almost, and it prevents that. And some people got upset because they were like, well, I have a BMW, and why y'all not giving it for that? Because like I said, it was going back to a national thing, but just those two type of cars. Okay. So a lot of programs are just geared towards that. But we have a lot of, just to capture that we do catch a lot of these offenders. A lot of them are juveniles. A lot of them travel in groups, 2 to 3, and they sometimes pull up next to a vehicle and steal another vehicle and follow each other. So those are some of the things that you can be cognizant of. You see vehicles double park. I'm not saying everybody's committing a crime. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes I double park just to pull up next to my mom. But you understand, if you see some type of suspicion, or you're like, okay, what are these young people doing around the vehicle? Call us. Don't always assume, because we can't assume. Even as police, that gets us nowhere, assuming. Some young people are just like successful. Some of them that might want to, maybe they're getting up, to talk about, hey, we're going to go to Chick-fil-A and study, okay? So we can't get ourselves in a box, you understand? Where we're like judging people. We feeling like everybody is up to no good. That's not what I'm saying. But for awareness purposes, if you're on your block, you know who's on your block. Those are a basic safety tip. Know who lives where, know what car belongs. And not everybody belongs. That's not what I'm saying, because I want to be politically correct. Some people are visiting, but I'm just saying, if you know Mrs. Jones, she never has any visitors. Okay. And then all of a sudden she got a bunch of visitors. That might be what? Problem. Okay. It's worth maybe asking her privately when you can, Miss Jones, is everything okay? Start there first. And if she's kind of hesitant or don't want to say nothing, you might want to, if you know some of her family or church members, get them involved. Okay. Not everybody feel comfortable with calling what? 911, the police. I'm pointing to my badge. Not everybody feel like, oh, this is a problem for them. Okay. Because some people don't have the trust, right? They don't feel like their issues want to be solved. So I'm just trying to keep all of that in mind. When in doubt, you can reach out. We want to be involved. So that's what the neighborhood coordination officers do. We're not neighborhood coordination. We're a citywide unit. We call it the community policing unit. So we're CPU, if you want to abbreviate it. But like I said, that's us. And then we are the people that basically when 911 is overloaded, you can call us and say, hey, look, Miss Jones has had a lot of activity. I see this car and that car. And then some of young people, she lived alone for years. And now she look like a grandson or whoever is living there. It's not that you're being a snitch or being nosy. You're just trying to keep her safe and make sure that she's okay. Okay. So identity theft, that's another one. I'm gonna move on. And please, how much time do I have? I don't want to talk too long.
You have 4 more minutes.
Okay, yeah, because I can ramble and I don't want to go over y'all time. So identity theft, older folks can be the target of that a lot of times. People see them as vulnerable. They see, oh, they don't know nothing. And they're the most valuable people. Older adults are valuable. They've been around longer than all of us, whether they 60, 50, or 70, or 80. They know way more than me. I'm only 41. They've worked other jobs. They've been out in the world. They've traveled. They're all encompassed. That's what I'm saying, like a big circle, 360. Okay. They know a lot. Okay. So just because somebody age, and my mother's 77, my dad is 79, and they're still living. Do not think, oh, they don't know nothing. They're not worth this. And they have dementia. So even with dementia, there's ways that you can bridge with them and connect with your older folks. Okay. You can actually do things with them instead of making them a problem for you. Okay. You can, take them to their favorite adult program, get them involved. Even young people, that's a way to connect with grandma or auntie or whoever. Okay. Connect with them. Don't write them off. You wouldn't want somebody to ball you up like trash. Okay. So don't do them that way. So I am the senior liaison for our agency. I'm the only one right now. Before me, there was other senior liaisons, but right now that's my role as well. I wear a lot of hats, okay? So a lot of time my voice is going through, like, cause I'm talking, okay? But we are looking to get other senior liaisons in our unit to help me. And one of my duties is to look at the crime reports. Those crime reports come through me through email. Sometimes it's word of mouth. Sometimes it's me putting my info out there. Somebody might call me and want my involvement, okay? But everything that we do in the city starts with 911. A lot of people say, what does that look like? We call 911 and 311 accordingly for city services, and 211, that's a resource line, and now 988 for mental health. Okay, and I can go over those numbers again. I did have a slide that was supposed to have that at the end. Do you see that, Dr. Hillard? Because I'm not sure.
No, that was it.
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not going to go there with this presentation. But,
That's
I'm
fine.
going to send you an updated copy, okay? But like as police, we got to be adaptable. We got to keep it moving. I'm
Absolutely.
telling you,
Nope.
and that's what I want y'all to realize. I know I'm summing it up. This is our senior outreach book. I am in the process of revamping it. It has been around for I'm not sure the exact copyright because it's not in here. But I think it's been around for roughly maybe about 6 years. And it just has senior safety tips in it, ranging from what I just recaptured on how to keep yourself safe. If you have property, you can put your ID number or your Soundex number. Some people are from DC or Maryland or Virginia. Those Soundex numbers are something that you can etch or engrave on your valuables or your jewelry. Lock boxes, invest in cameras. We do have a camera program trying to recap everything. I got less than 1 minute, I think. We have a City Watch program. So if you have a home camera, whether it's Ring, ADT, or whatever the case may be, you can go on City Watch. That's through the mayor's office. That program is not through us. It's facilitated through the mayor's office. And they have the applications of how you can register your cameras. Because if it happens to capture data or a crime or something like that that's evidentiary, you can help the police in that way. Okay, we cannot solve a crime without citizen involvement. We're not out here being Batman and Robin. I'm telling you, we can't do it alone. And if people don't trust us and can't feel like they can trust us with their footage or their statements or coming in to speak to us or whatever the case may be, crime, you understand, is just going to, continue to grow and grow. I'm not trying to scare you, but it takes all of us. It takes all of us working together. And like I said, a lot of times, like I said, a lot of young people don't get to see us. Sometimes the church folks may not see us as well. So this is just one meeting amongst many meetings. Continue to invite me back. And I just want to thank Dr. Hillard, and I want to thank Ms. Rosa Bragan for allowing me to be on this platform and leave time for questions. And I'm going to put my stuff in the chat while I'm getting the questions. So thank you.
Thank you. Can you tell us a couple of risk factors that lead to juvenile delinquency?
Oh, yes. That was my presentation had that, I'm telling y'all. I'm going to send you
sure.
that. And when you do update it, you can send it out to the members. Is that possible?
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
because I
we
do
can do that.
apologize. I was rushing in. This was my day off, so I came in. I'm in the office at the
Thank you.
job. So I actually rushed in. So some of the risk factors, one thing we can definitely talk about is family structure for young people. Some young people in this, not just Baltimore. I work for Baltimore City, so I'm thinking about Baltimore itself. But this is not, please, when I answer, this is not an end all be all comment, okay? Just from what I see, some of the homes may only have a single parent, or maybe have a working parent. That's like I said, the child is letting themselves in. They may not have much supervision. So some risk factors when they get involved with bad people or bad groups. Some people don't lead to crime, and that's a good thing when they don't lead to crime. But they may not have the family support, or may not, even if they live with their parent, they may not think their parent's cool. I know they don't use words like cool. I'm from the 1980s. So if there's any young people that can help me, get the word choice, what I'm saying? They may not feel comfortable. That's what I'm saying. Talking to their parent about hot topics, and y'all know what I'm talking about. I'll let y'all say that part, but adulting, birds and bees topics, They may not feel comfortable talking to their mom about dating, or, you know, they may not feel comfortable about talking about, you know, guns, because maybe some of their friends may have had a fake gun or a BB gun. Maybe they want to fit in, or, you know, some parents don't let them watch social media. They may can't do it at home, but they go to school and do it. So those are just having a healthy conversation with your adolescent, because like I said, this was geared towards the young people, talking to you, meeting them where they are, because we all used to be y'all. We all used to be you. Okay. So just talking about things that you're going to see, because you're not going to be 13 forever. You're not going to be 15 forever. Okay. And just having those positive or constructive outlets like Bible study class, things like that. Those are the things that get you those life lessons. So, and then some other risk factors could be some young people gotta be the only support. Like, as far as some of them hold jobs too while going to school. You know, their income might match up with mom or grandma, whoever they living with. They might be in work study. You know, so, you know, they have a lot of hats too, just like we're adults and we wear a lot of stress and hats and anxiety. You know, they may not know what anxiety is. They may not know what stress is or peer pressure. Those are the words that we throw out, but often don't, you know, paint a picture or color it for them and explain, hey, this is that, or give them examples. Just like I'm talking. It could seem boring and support to some people, like, okay, she's talking and ranting and ranting. Okay, but we have to have these talks, and it could be over something that they like to do. Right? We can go to the Autobahn and you know, go race car driving, you know, and this, it ain't got to be a speech all the time. It could just be hanging out, bonding, healthy bonding outlet. Okay, and then letting them know, hey, I'm here if you need to talk about A, B, and C. Okay, because everybody's personality is different. Some people don't like to talk. Some people are introverts. Some people are extroverts, and you know, some people don't know how to express themselves. And then some people actually go through trauma. Okay, because even in my youth group at the Bridge, we had 5 different schools. And the age groups was from 11 to 16, and it was about 60 children. And it was an everyday program that we would go pick these children up, and some of them had all kinds of spectrums. I'm just going to put it like all kinds of issues. Some had no issues. Some lived in a good home. Some of them didn't know what we were talking about when we touched certain topics. They never been exposed to trauma. They never been exposed to gun violence, never heard a gunshot, you know, so that's a good thing. And then some people have, you know, have been exposed to things when they're young, or they have seen, you know, mom or dad fight physically. You know, I'm just trying to keep it in constraints of the church setting as well. So I'll let y'all clarify those things that I'm talking about, okay, without giving too much. All right, so we got to keep that in mind. It's one thing to talk to an adult group, but to get on with a mixed group, I'm kind of trying to still keep it all in, you understand, in perspective, okay? Because sometimes when you get on these Zooms, some people are like, what is she talking? I never heard of that term, or what is, you know, so I got to keep that in mind. Some people don't know, and that's good they don't know, but we don't want to keep them naive either. You also can let them know about these things and what to look out, because it's not good for people to touch your personal space, your personal body. You have to report those things immediately. It's not good for people to violate your personal space at all, okay? Even some people, parents, report those things, okay?
Thank you. Anyone else have a question?
I'm trying to turn this, I'm
So it
having,
was Miss Rosa Reagan that actually reached out to Nikita, I believe, at your department.
yes,
That's my partner. So we want to thank you so much for your time and sacrifice and taking your time off. It's
yeah.
been a true blessing to all of us. If we would give her a round of
Oh,
applause.
thank you. I'm sorry about my PowerPoint.
No, that's fine. Look,
Some
we're
things are
all
missing.
human, and it happens to all of us. You did great.
I might have sent the wrong
So do
copy,
you
I
have,
think.
Miss Rosa, do you have anything to say?
I'm sorry. No, I don't. It was a good presentation, very informative, and it was good for the young adults and young children, but it was also good information for the adults, older adults and
Yeah. Anybody have any police
seniors.
questions? Anybody? Because not every day you get to talk to Baltimore police. So anybody have? But I don't have data and statistics, but
It's
you
a
know how you can
privilege.
make the police department better with you in your community. Anybody have anything?
No.
Okay.
No, we appreciate this initial partnership that we will have with Baltimore City Police Department. We love you all. You have a blessed night. Thank you so much, Officer Newman.
All
Thank
right,
you
well,
so
well, in
much.
Thank
closing,
you.
I did
Thank
leave
you.
I
Thank
did leave
you.
my
Thank
email.
you. Thank you. Thank you very
Welcome.
much.
Thank you.
Now, I did leave my email and I am going to leave my phone number. Okay. I'm more of a phone person because we're on the street. So a lot of times, even though I'm not in patrol, my emails get overwhelmed. So please call me. I'm more of a people. Connect with me through the phone and I can visit you and all that good stuff.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.